they meant to do. They knew exactly how it was going to hurt you and they done it anyway. They knew it was going to break your heart and they done it anyway. They knew it was going to leave you with a face full of tears and they did it anyway. They had a decision to make, to hurt you or not hurt you, and they chose to hurt you.
The more you forgive, the more you be taken for granted. You keep taking them back and taking them back over and over again. They're never going to learn.
If you're dealing with a narcissist or a toxic person or anybody inside of a toxic relationship dynamic, could be your parent, your partner, or whoever it is, y'all. If they hurt you, they do not get to determine when you get over it. If you decide to allow them access to your life, they don't get to determine whether or not you can bring it up anymore. If you forgive me, you would get over it. Why are you living in the past? Because you haven't healed yet.
Maybe you struggling breaking them generational curses because you won't break away from that generation that cursed you.
Do you think that there's a difference between forgiving a person and giving a person a second chance?
Forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. Forgiveness is simply acknowledgement. That's what it is. I'm acknowledging that there was some type of wrongdoing that has impacted me in a negative way, but that does not mean that I need to connect with you again.
Be careful who you share your business to. Be careful who you get vulnerable with. Be careful who you share your personal business with. Because when mad day come and y'all have a falling out, best believe your business will be up and down the street, up and down the internet, all over the place.
The audacity of people who break you, then turn around and expect you to be the peacemaker, the bigger person, all while they never apologize, never change, and sometimes even mock your healing. The views and opinions expressed in this video are my own and are not intended to be taken as facts or professional advice. I'm simply sharing my personal perspective on a topic that's being discussed on a public platform. Any resemblance to the truth, actual facts, or to reality is purely coincidental. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey y'all, welcome back to Voice and Value, and if you're new here, I'm so glad you found your way in. Get comfy, because we're about to talk about relationships, family dynamics, and the healing journey that too many of us are walking along. Today's topic is, you can't heal where you were hurt, but they still expect you to. If you've ever felt guilt tripped for stepping away to protect your peace, then you've clicked on the right thumbnail. Let me explain what I mean when I say you can't heal where you were hurt. It means you cannot grow, rebuild, or even rediscover yourself in the same place with the same people who caused your pain. Well, let me say that another way. You can't patch up your emotional wounds around folks who are still twisting the knife in your back. A lot of us are told to just let it go. That's still your family, or you can't just cut people off like that. They try to make it more about you and your reaction rather than the actions that took place causing you to redirect. But think about it. If your physical body was injured in a burning building, would anyone expect you to go back inside the fire to recover? Of course not. So why do they expect us to emotionally heal in a toxic household, a violent relationship, or a friend group full of jealousy and manipulation? There are certain roles that we're sometimes forced into when we're dealing with toxic dynamics. Sometimes you're the peacemaker, the one that's always smoothing things over even when you're the one hurting. Sometimes you're the scapegoat, where you're always blamed for everything that goes wrong. It's always your fault. And sometimes you're the strong one because you can handle it, even if it's quietly tearing you apart inside. And when you finally say, I'm not doing this anymore, all of a sudden you become the problem. You'll hear things like, you've changed, you're being distant, or you think you're better than us now. No, what's happening is you're finally loving yourself enough to walk away from the emotional turmoil. And they hate it. They can't stand it. Not because you hurt them, but because you stopped letting them hurt you. Ain't that a kick in the head? Fool me once, shame on you. So why do people expect you to heal right where the trauma happened? Well, there's several reasons actually. Control is one reason. If you heal on your own terms, they lose the ability to shape the narrative. And then there's guilt. If you grow without them, they have to face the fact that they were part of your pain. It forces them to at least consider accountability for their part. Comfort is a big reason why people expect you to heal right where the trauma happened. Your silence, your suffering, your compliance, it kept them comfortable. When I say your silence kept them comfortable, I'm talking about how you not speaking up allowed them to keep pretending that nothing was wrong. Because the moment you name the dysfunction or the disrespect, they have to face themselves, and most people really aren't ready to do that. Your suffering kept them comfortable because it meant you were still in the room. Let that sink in for a moment. Still showing up, still performing your role, whether that was the fixer, the peacekeeper, the emotional sponge, or the one who just takes everything on the chin. Your pain was their permission to never look at their own reflection. And your compliance, whew, that's the one. That meant you followed the unspoken rules. Don't talk about what happens behind closed doors. Don't embarrass the family. Don't bring up the past, even if the past is still happening today. And don't set boundaries because boundaries break the spell. You following the script kept the entire system intact. You were the emotional glue, the one they can mistreat but still count on. Ouch. I said it for you. But when you stop doing that, when you step into your truth, when you start prioritizing your peace is when everything starts shaking. Believe me, they feel it. They know the old you would have stayed quiet. The old you would have swallowed the disrespect just to keep the peace. The old you wouldn't dare disrupt the comfort they built on your suffering. But you want to know something? Their comfort was destroying you. Emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. You can't breathe properly in a space where your silence is more valuable than your truth. So if they're uncomfortable now, let them continue to be uncomfortable. Hell, they should be. Because comfort is not a good enough reason to stay broken. And your peace should never come at the cost of having your own voice. Healing outside of the space, whether that's leaving a toxic marriage, moving out, going no contact with a family member, or cutting off a manipulative friend, that forces people to look into the mirror, and most of them won't. So instead, they try to shame you back into the dynamic that broke you. Let me give you a few examples. First one, the family gathering guilt trip. Let's say you skip the family cookout because you're tired of your aunt's passive-aggressive digs or your mom's emotional blackmail. Now everybody's blowing up your phone. We miss you. You should just come. Don't let one person keep you away. But what they really mean is, come back and play your role, even if it hurts you. Of course, they'll never utter those words out loud, but that's exactly what they're asking you to do. Another example, the manipulative ex. Let's say you left an emotionally abusive relationship. He cheated, lied, gaslit you, the whole 9 yards, and now he's telling y'all mutual friends, I'm working on myself, but she won't even talk to me. That's because your healing isn't supposed to include helping them feel better about losing you. Don't let them try and turn the table on you. You're healing. They're still stuck, and that's okay. It's about you, not them. Okay, last example. The trauma-bonded friend group. Let's say you outgrew a messy friend group. You set boundaries, even started therapy, and now you're saying no more often. But now they're saying, you switched up on us. You used to be cool. No, you healed. And you're no longer available to them or their toxicity, which is the reason you distanced yourself in the first place. Kudos to you. You put yourself first, and now you're protecting your peace. Let's talk about real healing and what that looks like. Well, first of all, it's ugly. It's lonely and downright quiet at times. What do I mean when I say it's ugly? Sometimes you cry in silence even when you're alone because you actually miss people who were never good for you. Sometimes you'll second guess or doubt yourself because no one's clapping for your growth. And sometimes you'll be tempted to go back. Not because it was good, but because it was familiar. And familiarity tends to feel comfortable at times. But I'm encouraging you to keep going because healing requires distance. Distance from people, from environments, from triggers. Healing requires boundaries, not walls, but fences with gates that you control. And also, healing requires discomfort because growth feels like grief at first, but that's okay because there's a path forward and you're finally walking on the right path. Push through the discomfort because truthfully speaking, you don't owe your healing to the people who hurt you. You don't have to make them feel better while you're picking up pieces of yourself. You can move across the country, block them on socials, change your number, and still not be free. That's because healing isn't just about geography, it's about emotional separation. And some of us move hundreds of miles away from the source of our pain, but we're still answering texts, still checking on them, still responding to, just wanted to see how you were doing. Still emotionally available for the same person who broke us. And when you do that, you're just relocating the trauma. You didn't cut the cord. You simply stretched it out. Proximity doesn't create peace. And sometimes staying in contact, even if it feels polite or the mature thing to do, but staying in contact is just a trauma response in disguise. You're afraid that going no contact means you're cold or that they'll make you the villain. So you keep the door cracked open just a little bit, even though deep down you know that person can't handle your heart. And guess what happens? You don't heal and you don't move forward. Well, here's what you need to know. Access is not the same as love. Closure isn't a conversation, it's a decision. You don't need to keep checking in on someone who consistently checked out when you needed them. You're not mean for going silent. You're not petty for not replying. You're not cold for protecting your peace. So whether it's your ex, your parent, your old best friend, if you had to put miles between you just to breathe again, don't ruin the freedom by keeping the emotional door wide open. Sometimes the most radical thing you can do is say, I love myself too much to keep hurting over someone I already walked away from. Remember in elementary school where you needed a permission slip to leave the classroom? Well, in case no one ever gave you one, Voice and Value is giving you one today. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to not explain yourself. And you're allowed to heal somewhere safe. At the end of the day, what you're really saying is, I love you, but I love me too. I love me more than your comfort. Let them talk. They're going to start talking cash money-ish. Let them twist your story. Let them feel whatever they feel. That's their burden to bear, not yours. You didn't heal to become who they wanted. You healed to become who you were meant to be. So keep going. Stay grounded and know that anyone who truly loves you will never make you choose between their comfort and your wholeness. This is Voice and Value, and I want to end by saying you matter, your voice matters, and your value is not to be negotiated. Until next time, be well and stay true to yourself.
I like to say that my love is unconditional, but my presence is not. I can love your ass from a distance. And that's what a lot of people get, especially family and friends. The boundaries are typically not for them. They are for us. So if I recognize, which I personally have recognized, that my family is draining, they are not positive, they are not healthy to be around, I don't feel good about myself when I go around my family, the boundary is for you to discern how far am I willing to go? What am I willing to feel? What am I not willing to feel? Am I going to give myself permission to drain my life force by going into an environment that I know doesn't serve me?
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.